did, what I did was, I did baste these. What's kind of funny is I'm going to have to go back and actually kind of trim some of the basting tape out, because I kind of have hairy legs, and I can guarantee about 99% that I will hate these pants, especially if the tape, which doesn't ever really go away, starts pulling at my leg hairs. Well, that didn't work. So that pucker there is no good. It completely defeats what I'm trying to do here, which is to get these seams to lay flat. There it goes. Alright, I'm going to just take this over to the Sailrite and stitch. Like I said, I'm going to turn it inside out. I'm not going to bother videoing it. I have enough video of me just sewing, or running cloth through the machine, so it's kind of superfluous. So yeah, I'm going to run all this through. The basting tape should hold it. I will say that the way the Sailrite's set up, doing this kind of stitch is a little tricky, because you get a lot of material in between the throat. And I should have done this before I sewed them together, but I really wanted to try them on in case they were grossly undersized. I could, let them out a little bit. But I'm fairly happy with it. I'm fairly happy with the fit, except the waist. And to be honest, at this point, because I sewed everything in like this, I can't really fix the waist now anyway. The waist will be fixed by the use of Velcro as the closure. Okay, well, I've mentioned many different times that I like to show my mistakes. I like to show the warts that happen. So I was sewing the front piece here, and I wasn't paying attention carefully enough to what I was doing, and I sewed the seat of the pants to the front of the pants right here. So I have to now I now have to cut all of this stitching out of here, and it's really not in a good place. Okay, two things, actually two really important things. I actually gave up on using the Sailrite to do the crotch. I couldn't get the material because of the way the placard is on the Sailrite. It made it very difficult to shove all of this material in here. So I did it with the Bernina, and it worked just fine. I still need to sew this, I think, maybe. I'm getting a little leery of doing a whole lot more of the zigzag. So I zigzagged the corners here, or I zigzagged this seam up in here to make it look burly. I zigzagged the seat. I kind of came off a little bit right about there, but it's not a big deal. And now I have to do this piece here, and I think I might actually just do this on the Bernina, because it's a little difficult to get this into the Sailrite and get it to do it. There's like three things I got to do. The other thing is, and this is kind of odd or funny or weird, the foot on the Sailrite doesn't like to lift up, or doesn't lift up high enough, the Bernina does, to stuff all this stuff underneath of it. And I still have this fucky pucker here, which I don't know what I'm going to do to fix that. Well, I spared you watching me change into my underwear, or change into these. I haven't done the Velcro on the waist yet. I'll get to it. It's not a big rush. That might be the next thing I do after I do this. And what I need to do is I need to hem the bottoms. Yeah, they're a little low. These actually fit way better than the other pair. And I'm wearing them a little low on my waist. So I'm actually, but I can't, so I need to put the Velcro on so I can adjust where I'm going to wear these. I'm getting to be an old man and I keep pulling my pants up further and further and further. Eventually I hope to get them all the way up to here. So I need to put my legs together. Really it helps if you have another person, but I'm kind of working by myself here. So you're supposed to mark the back. I'm not going to mark the back. I'm going to mark the front because that's where I can reach. So I got my chalk here, and I'm just going to arbitrarily say that I want these right here as where I want them to hem at, which will put them above my knee like this in most circumstances, unless they droop them down further, and then that'll still put them there. The reason I want them that over my knee like that is so when I bend down I don't catch the hem, which I inevitably do, and then I rip the hem off. Alrighty, so now what am I going to do here? It actually calls to leave enough for a 2-inch hem, which is exactly, shockingly, is exactly what I got here. If I measure, try to even this mess out here a little bit. Yeah, this is kind of flunky down here. So if I measure from the waistband to where I marked it, I'm at 22 inches. Actually, ironically, very close to 22 inches on both sides, which is, for me, that's incredible. Now you see this one's a little bit screwy here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to slide my ruler up a little and set it at 2 inches, as square as I can get it up here, and I'm going to take my chalk, which, there we go with that stenods again, just set down. There it is. And I'm going to slam a line in it here, and then I'm going to take that line and I'm going to go like this. Oink. All right, and I'm going to do the same thing on this side. Get this as lined up and square as I can at the top, not the bottom, because the bottom's crooked. You can't make something straight if you're going off a crooked edge. This edge is straight, this edge is crooked, so I'm measuring off this edge. Yoink. Yoink. Now, what am I going to do? I'm going to measure down another inch. Actually, it looks like I can do it. I can do 2 inches. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down 2 inches from this line and put another line here. Do it on this side too. Yeah, this side's a little tight. So that's what I was talking about, it being crooked. Alright, so I'm going to do, because it's real tight here, I'm going to do 1.5 inches. Okay, 1.5 inches. I'm going to put the line there. Now, I can't mark the backside. Well, I could actually, I guess, mark the backside, but I'm not going to. What I'm going to do now, yeah, I like 1.5 inches. Go plug my iron in, because I forgot to plug my iron in. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold this way, that way. Okay, so I'm going to fold it in this way. Like that. Some clips. So what I'm doing is burying this edge here, the serged edge, because I'm going to hem it again. So that's edge one. That's hem one. I'm going to hem them twice. It gives a nice thick hem around the bottom if I do that. Now I'm going to flip it over, and I'm going to do the same thing. Now when I sewed these, I did mess one of them up. Yeah, this one I sewed down too far. So when I sewed the pieces together, I actually left a good bit of room to make this more viable. All I'm doing here is establishing a straight edge. And from the straight edge, I'll then fold it back again. Now, in practice, like actually wearing the pants, one side's going to be higher than the other because that's just the way your body's shaped. And I'm not in any mood, for the sake of argument, to correct what I know is going to be a problem. And it's not really going to be it's not really a problem. It's just the hem on your pants generally isn't straight. It's usually longer in the back than it is in the front. That goes with that even if you're wearing dress pants, if you look at a pair of dress pants, the hem in the front is generally a little bit shorter than the hem in the front and the back. So when you're looking at the pants from a side view, it'll have an angle to it. As a matter of fact, to properly hem these, I should actually do it this way. But I don't do anything proper, so I'm doing it the other way. So when the chances of anybody other than a tailor noticing that you're goofy is, I quite frankly, I've gotten into the habit of when somebody says something shitty, I ask, did you make your pants today? I did. I made these pair of shorts. Did you make yours? No. Excuse me, I had a little problem with another job that I did, and it's kind of eating at me. And it wasn't clothes, it was something else. I'm not going to get into it. Alright, so that's there. Now I'm going to go and press this, and then I'm going to put a quick sew in it, basically a basting stitch, and then I'm going to fold it again. Alright, we're back. Real quick, I don't want to mess up my crease. I pressed the hem back. So there's my hem. So this is the first hem, which hides the raw edge, and then this is the actual hem that you're going to see. I'm just going to do it on the Bernina because it's working really nice for this. This is not too thick to sew with the Bernina. Even this corner here where it's like 7 layers, it should sew right through that without a problem. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to do very similar to the other stitching on this, is I'm going to put, I'll pick an arbitrary distance, probably somewhere in here like 3/4 of an inch. Actually, that's 1 inch. I think, yeah, it looks like that's 1 inch. Ruler here. Yeah, I'm probably going to do 3/4 of an inch to make sure I catch everything. If I do it at 1 inch, I might not catch everything. I may end up running off here or there because this edge is not perfect. Far from it. As a matter of fact, I intentionally measured it at some place where I knew it's not right. So maybe what I'll do is this line might be a little wonky in the back here, but I think 1 inch is actually a better. Yeah, it looks like 1 inch because I'd like this to be sewed in. Oh, you know what I can do? use my head. I'm going to flip it inside out. I'll flip these inside out. And I'm just going to hope, keep my fingers crossed, that the Bernina's happy today. That the Bernina's happy, and it'll sew perfectly on both sides. Every once in a while, it gets a little grumpy, and it will produce, it'll get loose on the back side. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to spool up a brand new bobbin. My bobbin's getting low, and I found that when the bobbin gets low in either machine, either the Bernina, the Sailrite, or even my Kenmore, it has a tendency to screw up towards the end of the bobbin. I can tell almost immediately when the machine's when I'm using the machine, I can tell it's acting weird. So what's going to end up happening is on the outside, this is not going to be perfect. But I really would like to be able to, I'd really like to sew this as close to this edge as possible. It goes back to the reason, it goes back to my reasoning of you'll get crap stuck in there, or I'll actually catch this lip and flip it over. So this needs to be sewed pretty close to this edge here.